Welcome to part 5 of the readout of the official affidavit documents in the case of Jaqueline Torres-Garcia, who we call Mimi. If you have made it this far, thank you. Glad you're still here. We are almost done with this affidavit. I might not finish up in this one. I think we might finish in part 6, and it'll probably be about half of a recording as the previous 10-minute ones. So let's get right back to where we left off, where they were interviewing Jaqueline Garcia, and let's all hope that she keeps the pee in her pants for this interview. The detective had concluded his interview with Carla Garcia and took over the interview of her sister, Jaqueline Garcia. Lieutenant Keepin, Detective Martin, and I monitored this portion of the interview remotely, based on the disclosures from Carla Garcia that her sister was present during the abuse of Mimi and was an active participant. Detective Mordazowski confronted her with this information. During the second interview, Jaqueline Garcia confirmed that her niece Mimi was deprived of food and made to stand in the corner. She confirmed that her sister Carla and Carla's boyfriend Nanita zip-tied Mimi as a punishment and often kept her in the corner of the room, where she would defecate and urinate on herself. Jaqueline admitted that she also zip-tied her niece but tried to minimize her involvement. She acknowledged that her niece Mimi was skinny and often deprived of food. Jaqueline did not believe that it was lack of food that caused her death. Jaqueline Garcia stated that she did not know her niece died until today, October 9th, 2025, and that she last saw her alive in August of 2024 in their Farmington home. She admitted to taking and sharing a photograph of her niece zip-tied on a urination pad. Detective Artuk of the New Britain Police Department conducted a canvass on Tremont Street in which a few anonymous neighbors reported a foul odor coming from the rear of the property near the garbage cans and property line that connects to homes on Bartlett and Lawler Street. Another anonymous neighbor said her husband and their babysitter had noticed a foul odor coming from the Acura in late September. None of the neighbors mentioned seeing the tote bin, and none were able to confirm what the smell was coming from. The detective of the New Britain Police Department contacted the landlord of 24 Tremont Street, who had cameras on the property. It was determined that several of the cameras were offline between August and October, and nothing of evidentiary value was found. On October 11th, 2025, we spoke to the residents of 136 and 134 Wellington Drive in Farmington. The resident of 136 Wellington Drive had made several noise complaints to the police concerning the residents of 135 Wellington Drive during the known time frame that Carla Garcia and Jonathan and Anita lived at the location. We spoke first to the resident at 136 Wellington Drive. Their unit shares a wall with 135, and that they routinely overheard yelling, swearing, and items being thrown in the residence. The resident stated that at one point she contacted DCF, the Department of Children and Families, and reported possible abuse and neglect of the 10-year-old female residing in the house, believed to be NG, which would be Mimi's younger sister. She stated that this female would often take out the garbage and carry large bags of groceries, to include several juice milk gallons, by herself. She stated she contacted DCF about the welfare of the children and the residents. She stated this child would also go outside and start the family vehicle when it was cold outside and was not dressed for the weather. The resident could not say exactly how many children lived in 135, but believed an older boy that had short curly hair and had a darker complexion, the 10-year-old daughter, and then a 2- and 3-year-old toddler. Later that evening, the resident called me and stated that she saw a news article about Mimi's death that included her picture. She now believed that the child who she thought was a boy was Mimi based on her complexion and curly hair. During the investigation, we learned that Mimi's aunt, Jaqueline, had cut her hair short at one point while living in Farmington. The resident mentioned 2 incidents where she contacted the police. She stated in one incident she could hear loud noises and arguing, and a female voice threatening to break someone's neck. The Farmington Police Department had that case on September 28th, 2024. She also mentioned another call late at night when she contacted Farmington Police twice. She estimated it was approximately midnight when she heard someone scream and heard something, quote, heavy fall. She stated she then heard Carla yell something to the effect of, quote, stop or don't. This was related to the police on December 29th, 2024. That's when that occurred. The resident stated that at one point she smelled bleach and stated she could smell it from her basement. She did not know if the family had moved out yet, if the cleaning crew was cleaning up from them, or if the family was still residing there. When she called me back concerning the identification of Mimi, she remembered having a conversation with the listing agent for 135 Wellington Drive after the family moved out. She stated that the listing agent also complained of a strong bleach smell in the basement. She confirmed the family operated a gray Acura van that had a temporary registration. She estimated that she saw the older boy in the family approximately twice, noting once when the family moved in and possibly once when the family moved out. Detective Hopkins interviewed the resident of 134 Wellington, who was an elementary school teacher in New Britain, where NG attended school. She stated that while the family resided at 135 Wellington, it was always loud, and she could hear young kids yelling during the night. She stated that she routinely smelled weed on her back deck, noting it came from Nanita. She stated at one point that NG attended the school she works at, North End Elementary, and there were several occasions in which she showed up with bruising on her body. DCF had been contacted on several occasions, and reports had been filed. She also stated that she believed Carla had fraudulently sent the school a doctor's note regarding a bruise on NG's body. She said that NG was moved to a smaller school in New Britain. On October 11, 2025, they interviewed Mimi's father, Victor Torres, at the Farmington Police Department. Torres provided extensive background information on his relationship with Carla Garcia and his children, Mimi and NG. Torres stated that he and Garcia met in high school and became pregnant with Mimi. He stated that his mother became temporary guardian of Mimi immediately after her birth in 2013 due to legal issues resulting in both of their incarcerations. Torres stated that his mother maintained custody of Mimi until she was 8 or 9 years old. NG was born during those legal issues in 2014, and that Carla had custody of NG. Torres stated that by 2017, his mother had custody of both children. Torres was released in 2020, and his mother had custody of both children. In 2021, he and Garcia had joint custody. Then Garcia got full custody of the children in 2023. Torres stated that Carla made it very difficult to see his children. He stated that it got worse when he started seeing his current wife, and worse after she became pregnant and they married. Victor stated that the last time he saw his daughter was at her 5th grade graduation on June 10, 2024. Victor had a photograph of the event. Victor stated that when NG had her 5th grade graduation on June 9, 2025, Mimi did not attend. When he asked Carla where Mimi was, she told him in school. Victor stated that since June of 2024, every time he asked to speak with Mimi, Carla told him that she was not home or at a friend's or another excuse. Victor stated that he moved to Florida this summer but has made several trips to New Britain where he has family. Every time he tried to visit or talk with his daughters and or drop off presents, he would be allowed to talk with NG but not Mimi. Torres stated that when Carla moved back to New Britain from Farmington, she would not give him her address. He stated that Carla would meet him in her car on a side street. He stated that he grew so concerned that he contacted DCF to do a wellness check, but was told they could not because he did not know where she lived. This is going to be the end of part 5 here. There's only about a page and a half left, so I will wrap it up in the next video. As always, thank you for tuning in. Please make sure that you are following me, liking, and sharing to help this channel. I will see you all in the next one.